Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the Warhammer 40k new 10th edition faction focus for the Chaos Space Marines. Over the next month, the Warhammer community team will be putting up new articles with loads of information about all the factions in Warhammer 40,000, and today it's the turn of the Chaos Space Marines. So in this video, I'll work through the article, we'll take a look at the new rules, and have a close-up look at some of the data sheets too. Before we get started though, today is May the 4th, and you know what that means, it's Happy Star Wars Day. Okay, wrong universe, let's get back to Warhammer 40k and have a look at these new rules for the Chaos Space Marines, starting with Dark Pacts, and this is a Chaos Space Marines army rule. The rule tells us that if your army faction is Heretic Astartes, each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Pact. If it does, select one of the following abilities for that unit's weapons to gain until the end of the phase. Choose between Lethal Hits or Sustained Hits 1. There's a catch though, because each time a unit makes a Dark Pact, after it has resolved its attacks, it must take a leadership test. If that test is failed, that unit will suffer D3 mortal wounds. Dark Pact is going to play in nicely with the narrative for the Space Marines, as if they're willing to make that Dark Pact for power, they're going to be gambling with the lives of their troops. So I really like that, and that's a really nice way to kick things off. And the article tells us you can make Dark Pacts as many times as you like during a game. This could be good when your army's in a strong position, but as you get weaker and get ground down by the enemy, maybe you wouldn't be so keen to use this Dark Pact. But very interesting, I really like this one. Right, now let's move on and start having a look at some of the data sheets. And don't forget, these are going to be available as data cards as soon as 10th drops. You'll be able to get them for free as downloads and buy the physical versions too. Let's start with the Legionaries. We've got another special character to look at after this, but there's a lot going on here. There's going to be what looks like 2 cards altogether, so when we get the physical cards, this could well be like the ones we've seen for Age of Sigmar, where there's 2 cards together and it folds up, and so there's all the information in one place. Very handy on the table. Let's look at the card that's got all the stats on first. And right away you can see the movement 6 inches, toughness 4, saving on a 3+, 2 wounds, leadership 6+, objective control is 2. There's a fair amount of weapons that you can choose from here, so that's really great. There's a mix of all different weapons, pistols, heavy weapons, you've got the psychic as well, you've got the psychic balefire tome weapon included in there. Flamers are there as well, so loads of ranged weapons, all with different distances, right up to 48 inches if you go for the Havoc autocannon. You're really going to have the option to kit out each unit for specific roles on the battlefield, which is really nice, but these are just the ranged weapons. Let's have a look at the melee weapons next. There's a cursed weapon in there, Astartes chainsword, close combat weapon, heavy melee weapon. That's leaving it up for lots of different options. So I guess if you're kit bashing, this is going to give you some choices there for those close and heavy melee weapons, certainly. Then there's the abilities and the faction abilities, the army-wide Dark Pacts that we just looked at. And as we went through, you can use this each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight. That's going to be pretty intense when you consider all the weapons here, and you can either add the lethal hits or sustained hits 1s to that. That's going to be really effective, but again, it does come with that cost. You could suffer D3 mortal wounds, but it could well be worth it in the right hands. The downside of making that leadership test doesn't seem so bad when you take a look at Chaos Icon. This is going to come under the War Gear abilities. If you've got that, each time the bearer's unit takes a leadership test for the Dark Pacts ability, you can re-roll that test. I think with that in mind, there's going to be some serious amounts of Dark Pacts going on the battlefield. So very interesting to see this when it comes into play. And then finally, we've got the keywords Infantry, Battle Line, Chaos, Grenades, Legionaries, and then faction keywords Heretic Astartes. Now let's have a look at the other section. So we've got the War Gear options now. And as you can see, there's a lot of War Gear options going on here. If this is all in one place like this, and you get this on the physical cards and the ones we download, then that's going to make it a lot easier when putting your units together and knowing which weapons can go with which model within that unit. So that's going to be really nice. No have to flick back and forth in the book and things like that. Certainly going to help when you're building your armies and deciding which weapons to equip your units with. That said, the values aren't here, so you are going to have to go elsewhere for that, and expect to see a document for free when the rules are released so that we can get all the points values for every unit and every piece of war gear. Then there's the final section, unit composition. You can have 1 aspiring champion, 4 to 9 legionaries, and every model is automatically equipped with bolt pistol, bolt gun, and a close combat weapon. So not a huge amount of change from what we've seen in 9th edition there for the legionaries, but with that extra Dark Pacts faction built in, I think it's going to be pretty fun to see what they can do now. That's the legionaries, but now let's have a look at one of the main characters, Abaddon the Despoiler. Looks like we could get everything on the one data card here. In Age of Sigmar, sometimes the characters have double ones like we saw with the Legionaries, but it'd be nice if it's all in one place like this. For the stats, we've got a movement 5, toughness 5, save 2+, wounds 9, leadership 5, objective control 4. A few changes there to what we're used to in 9th edition. That movement's gone from 6 inches down to 5, toughness from 6 down to 5. Still got a 2+ save though, and the wounds still fixed at 9. As far as the weapons go, the ranged weapon is staying pretty much the same, 24 inch, although it has got the sustained hits 1 rule now. It's got a ballistic skill of 2+, so again, that's staying the same as we've seen in 9th. Strength 5, AP -1, and 2 damage. Let's have a look at the melee weapons next. We've got Drachmian, which has got devastating wounds, and it's got 8 attacks, so that's staying the same. 2+ weapon skill, and then strength 14, AP -4, and 3 damage. Then there's Talon of Horus, and this is a devastating wounds ability attached to that again, and this has got 14 attacks. Now in 9th, you'd make 2 hits instead of 1 normally, so you would have got 16 attacks there. That's reduced to 14. Weapon skill is still 2+. Strength is 7, so that's gone up by 1. AP is -3, where it used to be -4, and it's going to deal 1 damage. They've certainly tweaked that there, and you'll notice the layout is a bit different to Warhammer 40,000 9th edition, as the abilities aren't along the same line as the weapon now. They're going to be to the right or underneath. Let's have a look and see what War Master brings. First up, you've got Paragon of Hatred. This is an aura, and it tells us that while a friendly Heretic Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll, so we like that. Then there's Mark of Chaos Ascendant, another aura. While a friendly Heretic Astartes infantry or mounted unit is within 6 inches of this model, models in that unit have a 4+ invulnerable save. Then there's another aura, Lord of the Traitor Legions. While a friendly Heretic Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, you can re-roll leadership and battle shock tests taken for that unit. There's definitely some big changes here. I think with the existing 9th edition rules and now comparing it to this, you're certainly going to be wanting to play this in a slightly different way. So yeah, they've made quite a lot of changes to the War Master. Let's have a look at the abilities then. So for core abilities, Deep Strike and Leader. Faction, Dark Pacts, and then War Master. There's a bit extra here. It tells us that in the command phase, select one War Master ability that we've just looked at. Until the start of your next command phase, this model has that ability. This seems to have really streamlined Abaddon the Despoiler now. Yeah, there's a lot more rules in 9th going on his datasheet than we can see here for sure. But there's one more, Dark Destiny, and it tells us that each time this model makes a Dark Pact and does not fail the resulting leadership test, roll 1d6. On a 2+, you gain 1 CP, and we know there's not going to be as much CP available in new 10th edition, so this could be really valuable. Abaddon's going to come with a 4+ invulnerable save, so the same as Dark Destiny in 9th. But in Dark Destiny it says that the model cannot lose more than 3 wounds in the same phase. Any wounds that would be lost after that point are not lost, but it doesn't say that on here, so it could just be a straight up invul save. And then for keywords, there's quite a lot there. Infantry character, epic hero, Terminator, Chaos Undivided, Chaos Khorne, Slanesh, Nurgle, Tzeentch, Abaddon the Despoiler, and faction keywords, Heretic Astartes. It certainly looks like they've toned him down a little bit. Let me know what you think about that. But the chance to have the extra command points and generate those, that's pretty good. I think that's going to be a really important part of what he can do on the battlefield going forward. This faction focus has got quite a lot of information going on in it. We've got weapons to look at next. So let's start with the Bale Flamer. And this weapon ignores cover and comes with the Torrent ability. If we look at the weapon stats, it's got a range of 12 inch, attacks d6 plus 3, ballistic skill non-applicable, strength 6, AP -1, damage 2. And as a Torrent weapon, each time an attack is made with it, that attack automatically hits the target. Next, they showed us the flesh metal guns, and you've got 3 options here, and before selecting targets for the weapon, you would have to select one of the profiles to make attacks with. All 3 are going to have the same range, 24 inch, various attacks for each one. Ballistic skills the same, strength is certainly very different amongst all 3 of them, as is armor piercing and damage. And looking at the abilities, you've got Melter 2, you've got Blast, and you've got Sustain Hits 1, so lots of choice there. It's actually pretty cool to have such a varied choice. You've got some that can take out troops, some that can attack vehicles, even some of the tougher vehicles as well with that strength 12. This is going to get a lot of use, I think. Really good that we've seen the stats for this one. Okay, let's have a look at our stratagem next, and this one is called Dark Obscuration. This is one of 6 available to Slaves to Darkness detachments. You may well have seen how these new stratagems are going to be laid out, but if you haven't, it's really cool what they're doing. They start off by saying when you use it, and in this case it's in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. It tells us what the target of the stratagem is, and here it's one Heretic Astartes unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. And then it tells you the effect of this stratagem, and here until the end of the phase your unit has the stealth ability. In addition, if your unit is a Nurgle unit until the end of the phase, your unit can only be selected as a target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 12 inches. There you go, that's all the information given today in the article from the Warhammer community site for the Chaos Space Marines. It does say at the very bottom that you'll be able to pledge to one specific god as normal and get some extra benefits from that too, but there's more information on that to come later on. They also featured a couple of books, Fabius Bile the Omnibus by Josh Reynolds and Night Lords the Omnibus by Aaron Dembski Bowden. I'll be making a video for each faction focus released. I still got to do the Space Marines and Tyranids, but I started with the Chaos Space Marines today. We've got the Necrons coming up tomorrow, and almost every day this month there's going to be a new faction focus. That's all going to come to an end at the end of May, beginning of June, so expect to hear about the release of the new edition Leviathan. It's going to be really fun, and I can't wait to see what people do with the new Tyranid models. They look fantastic. A massive thank you to this month's sponsors for helping me keep going with these daily videos, bringing you all the news and these faction focus videos throughout the month. Couldn't do it without them. Thank you so much. I'll put links in the description down below where you can check them out. It'd be awesome if you could click those links, have a look at what they offer, and then you'll be supporting the channel that way too. Thank you so much for watching the videos as well. If you like this video, it'd be great if you hit the like button, subscribe so you can see more videos like it, and I'd look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.